Happy Wednesday evening, dear friends. Welcome to another Fireside Chat. Again, here we are in our beloved church sanctuary, and I am sitting in front of the Codman stained glass window given by the family in 1949. And from a personal point of view, it is my favorite. Not because I think it's any less or more beautiful than the others, but because from where I sit Sunday after Sunday behind the church pulpit, this is the window that I stare at and get my inspiration from as I look to that angel at the top of the apex that gives me a sense of our duty to our better angels in life. And it is always my prayer that I do justice to that call. And so in the spirit of our better angels, I have chosen these aspects for devotion. First of all, I want to read from Abraham Lincoln's first inaugural address in 1861, where the phrase, "our better angels," became part of the American lexicon. Lincoln said, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union, when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." And I want to also read a poem by a man named Ed Madden entitled "Better Angels." Hanging on my sister-in-law's wall is a print we all have seen. An angel hovering over two kids walking across a rickety bridge. Kids sure to fall if she weren't there. There's a board missing at their feet. The rail's gone on one side. The poor kids are barefoot. The girl's got a basket and her arm around the boy's shoulder. Neither sees the angel who floats above the bridge. Lightning in the distance. The angel reaches out as if blocking harm on either side, as if she wants to gather them up in her arms and wrap them in her robes. She hovers over, unable to do either. For Lincoln, the answer wasn't some angel, some agent outside us or beyond, but here among us and within us. He wasn't thinking about angels or demons sitting on shoulders. He was thinking about a message, something we can almost hear now, a century and a half later. So we want to gather us in and catch us all up on some of the announcements of the goings-on of Dorset Church. First of all, we want to thank the 139 viewers who tuned in on our YouTube channel to last Sunday's video worship, plus 117 other viewers on our Facebook page. So thank you all for inviting us into your homes and into your hearts. To contact all of our worship ministries. You can look for Jane's Friday email and click on the link that she always includes. You can turn to the church website, which is www.dorsetchurch.org, and look for the worship menu and click on Do What You Prefer. You can also find our Dorset Church Facebook page, and you can also find our Dorset Church YouTube channel. Those are all ways for you to tune in once or more than once throughout the week for our video ministries. Secondly, I want to announce on behalf of the church fellowship something called Fantasy Food Sale. So unusual times such as this pandemic shutdown require creative and unusual measures. And the Fellowship Fantasy Food Sale certainly is one of those measures. On Saturday, June 27th, all the typical cooks and bakers for the annual summer bake sale are asked to donate the money that they would have spent on all of their cooking. And then those who traditionally buy all of those delicious cooked and baked items, they are asked to donate the money that they would have spent. And then, friends, let your imaginations go. Imagine all those soups. Imagine all those pies and cakes. Imagine all those breads and cookies. Imagine the feast of your memories of bake sales past and bake sales to come. Give generously and taste and see that the Lord is good. They ask that we make our checks payable to the Dorset Church Fellowship, P.O. Box 263 here in Dorset, 05251, and they ask that you send in your contributions no later than June 29th. We also want you to tune in this Thursday night to a special hymn sing at 7 o'clock. We have a special vocalist. Marcia Howland is back, and we welcome her from Florida. And the theme of the hymn sing is gospel hymns. We also want to announce the movie of the week. It is a different approach to movie watching than what we have had the last 10, 11, 12 weeks or so. It is not a movie of symbolism. It is a movie of history. It is a movie that is perfect in these times where black lives matter. The movie is entitled Amistad, and it is the real-life story of the slave ship Amistad and how our UCC ancestors, the Congregationalists of New England, defended and freed those slaves and took their court case all the way to the United States Supreme Court. You can rent the movie Amistad on Vudu, on Amazon, on iTunes, and on Google Play. We also want to share something on behalf of the United States Census. So those of you who are second home owners, who are part of this congregation and part of our community, you may have come home to find a census form in the mail. You are asked to please put, if you are here at your second home where you received that mail, please indicate 0 people live here. And then please send it back. That is what the census requires of us to do. The 6th announcement is for everyone to appreciate the fact that this Sunday is the Church Scholarship Sunday. And so we hope that you will all tune in to help celebrate our 13 scholarship recipients. So I wanted to share this homily during these poignant times. Black Lives Matter. We hear it chanted in protest marches, political speeches, from pulpits and pedestrians, on placards, and now even painted on city pavement. And most Americans, I do believe that Black Lives Matter. And many think it's because all lives matter. But those who in their naivete and innocence think that way miss the point. Not only the point of racial justice in America, but also the point of the real Jesus. All lives matter only applies to God, which may be why 83% of African Americans are devout churchgoers, far, far surpassing white Americans, because their best hope is God. But in matters of humanity, there will always be much scarcity, too many limitations, too many laws protecting entrenched systems that victimize them. Changing these systems and limitations and scarcity is the main way to change America's racial injustice. So, friends, whenever we hear the proclamation, Black Lives Matter, we should also hear a word that isn't being said: more. Black lives matter more. And whenever we use the word more, the word less is attached. Because in a world of scarcity, more and less will always do battle, and this is the battle beneath Black Lives Matter. Do Black lives matter more than your child's place in a college class, on a sports team, in a competition for scholarship money, in a beauty contest? Do Black lives matter more than property values and racial purity in your neighborhoods? Or your dividends as a shareholder? Or sharing the cost of revitalizing urban decay? Do Black lives matter more than the homogeneity of your private clubs, your gated communities, your houses of worship? Does it matter more than your marital dreams for your children, or your long and deeply held politics? Do Black lives matter more than you feeling comfortable, than you feeling afraid, than you feeling elite, than you feeling cheated? Do Black lives matter more than white privilege? Yes, policing in America needs an overhaul from top to bottom. But a police force is mainly a reflection of and protection of a status quo that we all define. Jesus believed that all lives matter and that certain lives need to matter more. Jesus' love favored certain people: the hungry, the poor, the sick, the outsider, the bullied, the oppressed, the persecuted, the enslaved, the blind. In general, Jesus' love was in favor of the victim, never the victimizer. So let us translate that into now. And there is no doubt in my mind that Jesus would declare, Black lives matter, and they matter more. Because the African American suffers greater hunger, greater poverty, greater sickness, greater oppression, greater persecution, greater humiliation, and victimization than all other major minorities in America. And for all lives to matter, some lives need to make greater sacrifice. Indeed, sacrifice that is personal as a less helps to make a global more, just as it was for Jesus, who sacrificed his life for us all. As he taught in so many ways, to those whom much is given, much is expected. So let the protests and the proclamations and the platitudes echo forth throughout the land. Ideals need to be hailed. They are like the wick that draws us to God's flame. But as we shout the words, let us know the implications, especially for Christians. Black lives matter more. And would you join me in a closing prayer, friends? O Lord, mend our world of all of its brokenness. As George Floyd is laid to rest, mend the broken hearts of his family and friends. Use his death to help mend the racial brokenness of our country. Mend the social conscience of everyone in authority, police departments, legislators, our entire government, and guide it with the teachings and the compassion and the justice of Jesus. Mend our social division, O Lord, and discourage any who choose to divide us. Help all minorities, and especially African Americans, to not only feel they matter, feel they are included, but indeed have all the day-by-day freedoms and privileges and blessings of simply being a citizen of this land. O Lord, heal our world of the coronavirus. In the midst of all the peaceful protesting and marching, protect and safeguard those whose passions surpass their sense of safety. May the world find a vaccine soon. But until then, O font of all wisdom, O light of the world, lead us and fill us with thy compassion to conquer a disease that sees no color, sees no creed, sees no politics, and sees no class. And then help thy goodness and our Christian faith to at least do the same. Amen. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to smile upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance and concern on each and every one of us and grant us peace. Amen.